Okay, so this is the second section of our Delta Math, and the name is Identifying Points in Regions of Inequalities. So you're going to be given two inequalities, okay, and you're going to be given the graph of their lines without the shading. Delta Math is already going to give you if it's shaded or if it's dotted or solid, so that's nice, but you're going to have to think about where it's going to be shaded based on that inequality sign. So I'm going to use my smartboard to show you this first problem so that we can identify which point would satisfy both inequalities and find a solution to them. And then I'm going to allow you guys to work on this at your own pace as well. So there will be 3 other try on your own problems afterwards. Okay, so the directions say below are 2 inequalities and the graphs of their lines without the shading. By imagining where the shading should be, identify which point would satisfy both inequalities. So I'm going to use red to identify the shading in this problem. Okay, and thinking about where I want to shade it, I have to look at that sign. So my sign is greater than, so that means I want to shade it above. Okay, so I need to look and find this line on this graph and shade it above. So our y-intercept of this line is 0, 4, and our slope of this line is -3. So if I look at my y-intercept of this line at 0, -4, I see that 0, -4 is right here, and this line right here crosses 0, -4, and that's its y-intercept. So, oops, sorry, that's not perfect. But that line would be the line that represents the red inequality that I have circled. So we, again, want to shade it above because of this sign. So I'm just going to do a little bit of shading above in red. So that whole area in red satisfies the first equation. I'll use blue, okay, for this one. And we already know that this is going to be our blue line because we already identified our red line. So you don't have to tell me the y-intercept and slope, but if you would like to, you can. Our y-intercept is 0, 5. Our slope is 1/4. Okay, and we're going to shade this one below. So this one's shaded below because we have a less than sign. So you're going to color this in below. Now I'm going to use green because I don't have a purple marker to show you where they are overlapping. So if you look, our red line is here and it's solid. Actually, it's dotted. So that could be tricky to see. So make sure we're drawing dotted lines when we are drawing our shading. They're both actually dotted lines, so it would actually be helpful if you made them look like dotted lines from the beginning. My bad. Okay, so remember they're both dotted, so I'll make my green dotted from where these lines are. Okay. Same thing along the blue. And then anything in this green area is going to be the overlapping region. So what I'm going to do is erase everything on the outside of it so we can clearly just see our overlapping region. Okay, if you do this on paper, it's helpful to use like different pen colors or maybe a pen and a pencil. Okay, so that is our overlapping region. Now, if we look at Delta Math and we look at the problems that we're giving below, we need to check to see which point would satisfy both inequalities. So let me write these down on the side so we don't have to keep scrolling up and down. So we have 5, -6, 3, -10, -6, 7, and 10, 9. So we want to look at these and figure out which one is a solution to our system. So we want to know which one is a solution to our system, meaning which point is in the overlapping green region. Okay, so I scroll up so we can look at that green region and identify which one is a solution. So let's first look at 10(9). So our 10 is right here. We go down. Oh, we go up, actually. My bad. I'm messing up today. So we go, our x value is 10. We want to go up to 9. That's right here. So we can right off the bat say 10(9) is not a solution because 10(9) is right here. That's not a solution. So that's not going to work. Okay. Now let's look at 5, -6. So if we want to graph 5, -6, our x value is 5, which is right here. Let's go down to -6. Well, why don't you look at that? That is in our shaded region. So I'll do that one in black. 5, -6 is right here. So that's definitely in our shaded region, but we should just check the others to be sure before we conclude our answer. So now let's check 3, -10. 3, -10 is right here. That is not in our shaded region. And -6, 7 is all the way over here, -6, 7. That's also not in our shaded region. So our solution in that overlapping shaded region is 5, -6. So that would be our solution to this problem.